So good evening, guys. So welcome to one more session. Start. So it will take some time to see the output, because if you want to, after writing the code, we need to run the development server. What we want, we need to run the web development. We need to run the development server, right? And for that, to start the development server, because our ReactJS programs executes through the server, though it is a client-side program. So for that, we need to write npm start. Yes, it is done. Now it is asking the enter the marks. I'm entering something called 33. So this I written if else condition there. And what is my condition there? So here, if the marks are less than 40 or equals to 40, it should display failed. And what I typed here, it is I typed 33, which is less than 40. And when I click it, it should display failed. It is. That's good. It is working. And this is what our last program it is. So we have seen that if else conditions. So what else we have seen? We have seen even this date and other part also last class. And in today's class also we'll continue with some other topics. Right. Now today what we will do here it is, what are the other programs we have seen? Just let me check it. In this 4, there are so many examples. Okay, what are they? Let me check this, what this code is. Okay, date time we have seen that. And afterwards system. Okay, based on the system time, it has to display good morning or good afternoon or good evening. Listen carefully. Based on the system time, okay, it has to display good morning, good afternoon or good evening. It is it right? So I'll remove this statements here, all this from here. If else I'm removing it, constant marks I'm removing it. Okay, this is done. And I don't require this React also. It is. Now any person, those who are going to say anything about that concept here, how can I do that? How can I proceed it? If they give you this question for you, even if you are attending an exam or if you are attending any interview, if anybody, okay, I can understand you people are here for the certification, I can understand, but why the certification is required to get some jobs, right? If they ask you this question, right? So write a program to display good morning, good afternoon or good evening using React. So we have to take the date object because we have to filter that hours. So first of all, we'll take this so constant, right? And I'll say here D. So I'll say new date. We have seen this in the previous class. Not in the exactly previous class, maybe some other class we have seen that. Is it right? So, and we want to extract that date as he said that Aman Puri. So constant, we want hours. So H equals to D dot get hours. So is it right? We are going to get only hours. It is perfect. We are going to get hours, which will be stored in H. Now we are going to write if else conditions for this H here. So I'm going to write it here. And based on that, I will need to display the message. And I need to display some variable also here for greetings, right? Say what variable I want to give it. Let me give it let, and I'll say greetings equals to empty. I'm taking it empty because greetings may be good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and that is should change based on the hours. If it is below 12 o'clock, it is good morning, and if it is above 12 and below say 5 or 6, it is good afternoon, and above 5 or 6 we can say good evening. Okay, your time is your choice. Okay, so normally till what time we'll say good afternoon? From 12 o'clock to till what time we'll say good afternoon?
3 p.m. sir.
3 p.m. So right, as per your input, 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. I'll take it. Okay. So 3 p.m. means this hours. How it is going to display? For example, if I say hours here, for example,
15:00, sir.
That's good. That's good. Good response from this batch. So when I say H here, like this is how the method we write it. Is it right? So I'm compiling once again. Let us see what it is going to display. Is there any mistakes in that syntax? Coding. I define this date object and I'm getting this get hours method. So, and I'm calling this H, that means to display the time here. That is only the hours. Just want to show you that first. I don't know why this today compiling is taking a lot of time. Right, it is done. Right, it is showing that 19, right? So that is right now it is 7 o'clock, 7:15. So 7 means it is 19. This is a 24 hours format we are getting it. So, but 3 means what is the time? We'll write it here.
15.
So let 15, right? Okay. So I need to write if else conditions. If, and my condition here is H less than or equals to 12. Is it right? Means hours. H means hours it is. Then I want to display some message. But how can we display? That's what is important, right? So we want to write a greetings. We written that greetings. That is a variable. We already defined it. And I'm going to display that as good morning. Good morning, right? And we can write else. We have seen that last class else only, but else if also it is there because there's a multiple conditions. One is for morning, one is for afternoon, one more is for the evening, right? So else if we need to write multiple if else conditions. Okay, else if condition we have to use it. So not just else, and again we have to write it one more condition. Else if h is greater than, okay, it is greater than 12, and operator, this is called and operator in JavaScript. Okay, and here h less than or equals to, and what you said, 3 o'clock, 15, right? Yes, 15, right? So we can say greetings equals to good afternoon.
So you're writing that in React.render. We cannot write like that.
Yes, right. Thank you. Right. That's good. That's right, yeah. So that's what I like this class, because I hope this will continue, this enthusiasm and interest will continue till the end of the class, because I have seen just now I attended one class here. There was no response. I was asking, is it audible? No response. So, right, good. Because sometimes while writing the program, we'll be busy writing and I was writing some other place. That's right. And here, yeah, if condition, else if, and else, finally, else I'm writing here. Else means what? If it is above 15. So I need to write greetings. So equals to, say, what should I write? Good evening. What your message you say? Good evening is okay. We cannot say good night, right? After 15. So good evening, we can say that. Okay. Or any other wish if you have, then you can tell me that. So I defined a data object. I'm using, I'm filtering this get hours, and I defined one variable here, greetings. I'm not taking constant. Why I'm not taking constant? The value is changing, is it right? Value is getting changed. Okay. So now here, and it is good evening, it is, and it should display good evening. So then, okay, this is right. If I execute it, is going to work? Definitely is not going to work. Why? Because we need to call this, right? So we need to call it here. In our JSX, we need to call it. So I want to call it somewhere here with the H1, right? I want to write it here, expression. And I need to write, so greetings, right? What is the variable there? Greetings, right? And H1 is mentioned, save this. and save this now. It should display good evening, perfectly right. If you execute the same program, maybe in the morning time or before 12 o'clock or after 12 o'clock, it will be a different message. Is it right? So now the logic, how we are using it in React. So really, if you are really know JavaScript also, this way of writing the code is different. And that's one good thing is you people are responding and then you are able to identify the mistakes when I'm writing it. So we are writing the logic outside of my React DOM render, and I'm calling that inside this. So right. So to make our presentation, make our applications or web pages attractive, we need to take the help of what? CSS. Is it right? Cascading style sheets. Now it's a time to start CSS. So align with our ReactJS features. Okay. And when we talk about CSS, that is called cascading style sheets. And first we need to I need to give some brief idea about CSS. Okay. I'm not teaching the CSS. Some idea. Those are having idea about CSS, just let me remind it. Okay. So first thing is if else we discussed today. If else if condition. That is a date condition, it is hours. Okay. The next one we are going for CSS, which is called cascading style sheets. Okay. CSS using React. It is about CSS. I'm not teaching CSS. It is about CSS, how to use CSS using React. Right. So now first of all, tell me in CSS, how many ways of CSS we can write it? What are the different ways of writing the CSS?
3 methods, sir.
Inline. Okay.
3 methods: inline, external, internal.
Right. So we can say that internal CSS, and next one is inline CSS, and we have something called external CSS. All right, that's good. Now, internal CSS means you are going to write your CSS code inside the HTML. That means you will be having a HTML file. But do we have any HTML files in a React? We don't have any HTML files. Everything is a JavaScript file, right? And inline means any element you can take it, right? So how you write an inline CSS? Can anybody tell me here? For example, I have a H1 element here. I want to apply a red color or some other color here. What should I do now?
Sir, within the tag we can write, sir. We can give a space and we can write style equals to and double quotes color colon red. Right. This is right, right? This is called inline CSS. In a line, we are writing the CSS. And for external CSS, what we have to do? We need a class name or ID name. We should link the file, sir, with a link tag.
So basically, you require a HTML file and you require a CSS file. Is it right? You require
yes.
HTML file as well as CSS file. Both files are required. So HTML and CSS should be different. Should be different. Is it right? In simple terms, I can write it like this. And we need to import. We need to import CSS, right? So because we need to import CSS file into HTML file. Is it right? The sentence need to import it or need to link it. We can say that, let me use link. Need to link CSS file to HTML. How can we do that? How can you give a link? Inside the header portion. Yes, inside the header portion, we'll write it like this. And we will write head portion will be closed. And at the end, we will write link href equals to your file name dot css, and what else we'll write it? Relation. What type of relation we have in between these two files? It is a style sheet relation. So this is what we write it, right? Because this is very important, that's why I'm explaining this. And in our React, we are going to use external CSS also. we are going to use it inline CSS also. And internal CSS, we are not going to use it. So not used because we don't have any HTML. So we can say not used in React. So because no HTML. In fact, HTML is there. Where the HTML is available? In the, do you have any HTML file in React? What is that file?
Where it is available? Index.html in public folder.
In the public folder is there. If you want, you can write it there, but that is not suggested. So instead of writing say no HTML, that's not a good idea. So just say it is not used in React. That's it. So now it's a time to go to the inline CSS. So this is eligible, right? So let us see whether this inline CSS is suggesting or not. Okay. And I'll remove this program. I copied already so that I can share it in the future once the class is finished. I want to write cascading style sheets using React. Okay. Now here I am going to remove this if condition, constants, all these things I'm removing it. Now it's fresh React again. So if you render it, it should show that cascading style sheets using React it is. So let me show you that first. Good, showing. That's good. Now I need to change the style of this one, H1, right? So I need to change this style. So for example, H1, I'll copy it 2 times. Right, I written 2 times. It will be showing, and it is there under. What are all these things called? There's angular brackets are there. What these things are called?
Fragments, React fragments.
Fragments. So why that is used? Why we should use that fragments?
To render our content, sir.
To render our multiple elements, right? If you have multiple elements, if it is a one element, you don't require any fragment. Okay. So fragmentation can be done different way. One is you can use any parent element. Okay. In between, you can embed child elements, or the best method is the fragment method. So remember that. So fine. Now it is going to show the 2 elements. Fine. I want to change the color of this first one. So here I need to write style, okay, equals to, then I'll say color and red, semicolon. That's right. Let me say this. This is what we know. One warning it is showing that. Let me say it is not showing anything. In fact, what warning we are getting it? Go to the inspect, right click and inspect. There's a console will be there. In that errors will be shown to you. If you can go to the console. So that it is saying that, okay, this is not important for us. That is warning React DOM. It is because of that one. Above error occurred in component H1. Consider adding error boundary to your tree to consider something. Uncaught error, the style prop. Style prop, it is not saying that style attribute. It is saying that style prop expects a mapping from styling properties to value as thing. For example, style equals to something like this. So what we can understand with this is, this concept is not accepted in React. We know that CSS fine, but using CSS in React this way, it is wrong. Then how can we use it? Okay. So if you want to use inline CSS, we have to take it as an object method. Is it right? We need to take it as an object. Okay. So everything will be there in an object. For example, let me take here. Let me go here. So CSS in React, when I type it, I don't know whether the official website will come, or most of the time styling in CSS. Okay, we'll go to the official website. If the official website is not visible, then we'll go to some other websites. Let us try to understand official website first. How do I add CSS classes? It is asking the classes. So here you can see So here you can this style attribute accepts JavaScript object with the camel cased properties rather than the CSS string. This is consistent with the DOM style. For example, we have to take it as an object, JavaScript object. You need to understand. The style attribute accepts JavaScript object with camel case of properties rather than the CSS string. This is consistent with the DOM style. JavaScript properties more efficient and prevent security holes. Okay, there is something here. It is more efficient. Let us take this one. So we don't want to go that much. But here it is. If we can see the style attributes accept. So what I can say is this will be gives error if you write like this. Okay, so then what it is saying that the style attribute accepts JavaScript object. So that means it is in a camel case. We need to create an object. Can anybody tell me how to create an object here?
So you can create an object with the star brackets.
Okay, constant. We can write constant
variable
like
equals to star brackets.
Yes, for example, I'm writing heading. Okay, equals to curly braces. That's good. This is an object. So what it is saying that the style attributes accept JavaScript object with the camel case to this. So now here it is. I want to write something called say color. In the color, we don't require any camel case because it's only one word. Like there are some other thing called font family, right? You might have seen that font family, it is right. So here camel case is required. I'll come to that later. Right now, let me just first of all, let me show you that how to use this object method. Color is, and you can write your color name. Say whatever color you want to give it, you can give the color. So can we give this in single quotes, red, like this, and semicolon it is. Not semicolon, sorry, comma it is. After this property and value, comma should be there. Like we can add some other property. So this is wrong. So we need to define an object. But question comes here, where to define an object? Before React DOM render. Where to give it? Where you can expect it? Anybody here?
So at the place of color colon.
No, not there. We have to define here. Like variable where we declared it earlier. So here, right? So object or variables, anything you have to declare outside of the render, right? Constant, and you can mention, you can give some name, that is my object name, and equals to, and curly braces, and what you want it, color. Say you want it red color, but is it right? No, single quotes or double quotes is required, and semicolon is not. Okay, right now we don't have any other property. Comma is not compulsory. That has been defined. One object has been defined. This is the object. Okay, it is an object. Heading is declared, but its value is never read. Right. So what we do here, it is we have to remove this. Style is a keyword. We have to use it compulsory. Is it right? Style is a keyword. We have to use it compulsory, and we need to call it. Which one? Object. How can you call the object here? It is we need to use curly braces. And what is the object name? Heading. That's it. Save this. Yes, cascading style sheets. It is applying it for the first H1 because we added inline CSS. Inline. This is a line. In this line we added it is. So that is heading. So can we give some other properties also? What are the other properties you want to give it?
Background color.
Let me give it a padding. Okay, I'll come to that background. Let me give it a padding because it's a one word. That's why I'm taking that colon, and I want to give it say 20 pixels. And a comma is required because it's showing the error message because comma is missed here. After every property, comma should be there in object declaration. Now you can see that H1 will have little padding. Yes, you can see there is a padding, there is space. Okay, or you can give the border and you can see that. Okay, but I want to give the background color for this. Okay, or I want to change the font I want to change it. Okay, which one should I change? So background color will change it. So how to write a background color? We need to write it background and we need to write it color. This is what our CSS says that. So I want to write it in yellow color, right? And comma, everything is there, but still it is showing the red mark, underline it is. Okay, shall we place the comma? Even though if you place comma there, still it is giving the error message. Why? As it says, the description, it says that style attribute accept JavaScript object with camel cased properties. That means wherever it requires, for example, wherever you write like this, font family, font size, okay, like this we have two type words are there, right? So there what it says is Arial, I want to take it. What it says, it's not only React, it is even JavaScript also. Whenever you have this type of properties, you are using CSS properties in your JavaScript, it should be camel case. That means this hyphen is not allowed. Remove that hyphen. After removing hyphen, so take this capital F, font family it is it right? So small f we are taking it. Earlier it was like this, font dash family. I'm removing that small letter and hyphen there and I'm using. This is called camel case. It's like a camel, right? Our camel looks like this, right? The middle portion, it will be little very high. So second word will be capital letter. So here also background, when we are taking it, is a background hyphen is there. So what you do is hyphen you remove it, and even C also you remove it. She should be capital letter. Now that error is gone. That is called a camel case. Even though in JavaScript also. Perfect. It is working, and we got a padding also there. So this is how the inline CSS can be used. And internal CSS, anyway, it's not there. Inline and internal both are same here because we are defining as a object. Remember that. Either you can define it as an object or you can go for a external CSS.
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Yes.
Padding means?
Padding means it is a space in between the elements. For example, if I remove this, if I am not using this padding, okay, the space, inner space won't be there. The inner space which you are getting here inside this box, that won't be there. See, it is congested now. So text and box, okay. So that's called padding. Padding is a space inside the element. Here element is, I'm calling this object for h1, that is our element. And for that element, we are getting a space. See, it was like this. Now it is changing it like this. And margin is the outside of space. Outside of the element means outside of this, you will get it maybe in between these two elements. It is inside of this one. That is called padding. Okay, so what we will do is we will implement this concept with the help of if-else condition, which we discussed earlier. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll get that back program. I already have a copy here. This is my index file. I'll just copy this file. I'll paste it here. So index already is there in my, I paste it. Replace. So I'm getting that back if else condition again. So instead of writing again. So this is, and now it's compiling again. So it is displaying good evening, right? So now what is my intention is, for this program, I want to make it little more colorful. That means I want to add CSS here. So is there any suggestions? Is there any guess from your side? I want to display good morning in one color, good afternoon in one color, good evening in one color. In fact, it is going to display good evening. So 3 different colors, and I don't want to stick with one color. We need to define one, definitely one variable or not? Definitely we need to define a variable. So let me take constant, and I want to write it CSS style. Let me write it. You can take any variable name, and it will be empty because again the color will be different. If it is a good morning, so it's a pleasant weather morning. So I'll give it as green color, and if it is afternoon, it is more of brighter and everything, so red color. And if it is good evening, what color should I give it? Okay, blue color will give it. Okay, so that's why I want to give a different color. And this is an object, right? This one I'm taking it as like this, right? Now this one I need to implement it here. And the greetings, anyway we are writing it, and we need to mention CSS style. And in this we want to take it color, is right? We want to take it as a color, because this is empty object. It is, we don't have anything. Do you have any properties in this? We have seen that how to define an object, right? So here we don't have any properties. I'm not writing, it is empty. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking a color property. Color property for what? CSS style object it is. And what color you want to give it, you define it. Say what we planned it for morning time, right? So it is a green color. So if you execute it, I wanted green color, and I just copy this. And afternoon, so it will be very hard in the afternoon, right? Red color. And evening, I want to go for pleasant color. What we'll take it? Orange color. What we talk about? Orange. Okay, you give whatever color you want here. So this one. But if you type it like this, how you can call it here? That's what is important. We need to apply it here, right? So we need to apply this one. So H1, and we can say style. Can we write it like this? Equals to, and can we write it like this? CSS style. Is it right now the logic? Yes. Check it once again. So we defined a one object here, empty object it is, we don't have any value. And if it is less than 12, I'm writing CSS style, that is my object name. Dot color, that means the property. When I say dot, means it's a property, right? Is green, and here it is red, and it is orange. But I need to apply it for this. So inline CSS can be written like this. Now save this. So I think saved it already. And it should show which color it is, orange color. Yes, is it showing the orange color now? Why orange color? Because if it is good evening, that is above 15 hours, then good evening will be displayed, and it is orange color it is. Is it interesting? So we are able to use a small projects basically by using this CSS and React and everything it is. Okay.